Hello, welcome to the live stream, everyone. It is week 23 of the mini paint challenge. Today we are going to be painting, oh, I didn't even get them out. I made some cute little pretzel earrings. I was gonna wear them today. I don't know where I put them. We just got back from a trip. So I made some cute little pretzel earrings and we're gonna be painting that today. So we are going to, here, let me show you. This is the little photo that we've got this week. And if you're new here, here are the how to join rules. So I posted the reference photos up on my website. There's a mini paint challenge link in my bio. So if you go there and then you scroll down to the reference photos, you can download all previous week reference photos and then you can blow them up big on your computer. And it's a little bit nicer to have a high quality image to work from. And yeah, just make sure you tag me at Megan Josol Art and use the hashtag mini paint challenge, and then I'll be able to see all of your creations that you use. So let's get started with mixing. We've got our palette from last week. I just pulled it out of the freezer. And we've got some colors on here. I'll show you which colors we have. I don't know if we're going to use them all today because I haven't decided if we should actually do like a colorful background for this one. I thought like maybe a blue background again because I kind of like, let's see, one of the other paintings that we have over here. I was kind of thinking like, so we've got like these past ones that we've done with like the blue background. So like I think like here, maybe I'll just put them up here so you guys can see them. So we've got the little bao bun and then the sushi, and they've got like a really nice like blue in the background. So that would be cool. We could do like a blue background today maybe. Like this, but we'll decide. We'll decide as we're mixing colors. Let's mix the colors for like the main subject matter right now, and then decide if we want to kind of like do more of that blue. But I was thinking the blue might look nice because we've got some cerulean blue on there, and that's what I normally use for those blue backgrounds. So let's start out with telling you what colors I'm using. So I've got titanium white, warm white, quinacridone magenta, quinacridone red. We've got alizarin crimson, cadmium lemon yellow, I think that was. And then this one is sap green, cerulean blue hue, ultramarine blue, and burnt sienna. And I think burnt sienna will actually be like a really good base for a lot of the pretzel colors today. I have been really enjoying making these earrings because I feel like I used to really love making like sculptures and like clay things when I was in high school, and that was something I really enjoyed doing. And I realized like now that I have like the painting skills, I can like kind of combine like my painting and then my love for kind of like the clay craft and like put the two together, which is kind of cool. And that's why I'm like, yeah, I should start making some cute little earrings. And I also just like wanted some for myself, so I got a bunch of supplies and I've been making all these like really cute earrings just for myself. And I got so many messages that you guys really wanted to see them up on my website for sale, and I've gotten so many orders. Oh, it makes me so happy. Hey, welcome to the stream. Yeah, I'm just like, I'm so happy that you guys are enjoying the earrings just as much as I am. So I'm really excited to, so that's my like earring design that I did there. And yeah, I've been making all these like really cute earrings. Let me see if I can find them for you because I think they're like in my pink bag from yesterday. We just got back from vacation, so I have to like, I have to unload all my stuff. It's like chaotically everywhere in our house right now. Let me see if I can find it for you guys. I hope you can still hear me as I'm like walking around. I've got my headphones on again, so where did I put the earrings? It would be somewhere around here. It will be somewhere. And me today. I don't know where I put my earrings, hun. I had like a little baggie of all the earrings I was making. Here, I'll show you some of them. I started making like these cute ones. They're like little mac and cheese. I got like little mac and cheese ones. And then I've also got, I started making these cute guys. These are the little avocados. And I made these cute little donuts with rainbows on them. Made those too. But yeah, and then I made these pretzel earrings as well. I have a few other ones, but I'm really excited. Gotta put these back. These are the ones I have to ship off today or give to people here. Gotta deliver some of these. I've just got them like in one of my glasses cases so they don't get damaged. But I gotta make cute little backing cards for them. That's my plan. But it's nice I can combine my two skills together. Okay, so we've went through all the colors. I'm thinking we will start the paint mixing now because I'm talking too much about earrings. We will go and we will start, I guess, with the main subject, and then we'll decide if we want to do a background. I don't know if we do. We could always mix the background colors like on the fly if we end up wanting to add a background. But I was thinking just kind of keep it simple today. I think it would be nice. We haven't done one without a background in a while. So I'm going to start out with burnt sienna. And what you want to do when you're first starting to mix colors is you want to take the color and just like compare it to your reference image and see if it matches any of the colors in your reference image. And I'm just holding it up over here just to see. So it definitely matches some of the like darker bits in the pretzels, kind of the toasted areas of the pretzel. So that'll be like a really good like darker color. We are going to want a slightly darker color on top of that though. So I will put this to the side. We'll leave a little room so we can do a darker color. I like to go kind of from dark to light here. We're going to lighten this up, and I'm going to lighten it with a little bit of yellow. We don't want to use white ideally yet. You can tell that the colors, they kind of fade into like more of a yellow. Use my little arrow. So we're kind of going from this darker color here on the top and going on to like some of these yellowy areas on the side. So we will, we're just trying to make a bunch of different transition colors so we don't have to mix on the go. Because ideally we want to mix the colors beforehand because it just makes the painting process a little bit more enjoyable when you have like the colors kind of ready to go. So that's a nice one. We want to also grab a bit more burnt sienna, and then we're gonna add even more yellow to it to get kind of like, we're gonna have to probably desaturate it a little bit with a bit of green. Maybe a bit of like green or blue will help us desaturate this color because we don't want the color too bright in some of those areas. Let's see. That's actually pretty good. The burnt sienna desaturates it a little bit, which is nice. And yeah, that'll be a really nice color there. I'm going to keep a bit on my palette knife there because we're also going to try to add a little bit of white now to it. So I'm going to use a bit of, I think I'm going to use a bit of warm white for this. Let's see how that goes. You kind of over time, I feel like, just get used to your color palette. It's nice to use kind of a similar color palette all the time. If you buy too many like pre-mixed colors, it gets really hard to mix colors And so a lot of these colors here are like solid pigments. The only one that isn't a solid pigment is my sap green. But I kind of use that as a standalone color a lot, and I maybe add like a little bit of yellow to it, just for like the earthy tones. But it is a mix of phthalo blue and it's a bunch of pigment ones. I know it's like Indian yellow and phthalo blue, but there's a few other like pigments in the back, and it kind of says, and you can look up the pigment codes as well. But this is one of the only kind of like mixed ones that I like using. I have a few other mixed ones, but I don't use them as often because I have like a phthalo turquoise, and I thought I would use some of those ones where I have an emerald green. Don't use them as much as I thought I would. I just like my base colors. It's fun to mix your own paint, and so I just kind of gravitate towards very, very simple. It also makes it just a lot easier to have a very basic palette as a beginner too. So it's great for these lessons that I do as well. But just like mentally not having like tons and tons of colors all over your palette is kind of nice. Okay, we're gonna add a little bit more white to that, but this time, so the first white I was kind of like mixing some of these colors and they were in the darker areas, but now we're gonna go to the edge here where there's like quite a bit of like cooler white colors. So we're going to use titanium white for that. And titanium white will brighten it up in a different way. It has more of like a blue tint to it. It's great for those highlight areas. We're going to even need to like highlight that a little bit more. Okay, let's see how that's going. Yeah, that's a lot better. Some of those areas. And then I'm gonna clean that off a bit. I'm gonna also grab just some titanium white. Yeah, I'm just gonna put some at the bottom in case we want to lighten any of these colors a little bit as we're going. So that will go on our palette too. That's pretty good. We need a little bit of a darker color now. I'm just gonna quickly clean this off so we can do a darker color. It's hard to mix darker colors if you have any like white on the palette. So just make sure you clean it off between color changes or color shifts like that. And I just cut up like old towels. That's what I like using for mine. Okay, we're gonna go for that darker color. So I'm gonna grab the burnt sienna again. We're running low on it, but we don't need too much of that darker color. Might need like just a slight bit more. Try not to put too much on my palette because I'm going to be gone for a few weeks after this. I was saying on our last stream here that I'm going to be going to California for a few weeks with family next week. We were just away at my husband's parents' place, and then we're going back over to the mainland because I live on Vancouver Island. So we're going back over to Vancouver. And we're going to fly out of Vancouver with them. We're all going to do like a family vacation together, which will be so nice. Yeah, it's going to be really fun. I'm excited for the trip. And okay, so we're going to make this darker. I'm going to add just a little bit of blue. And I'm going to add a little bit of alizarin crimson as well. And that'll just make it darker. Kind of give it like a purpley color in the darker kind of shadow areas, or like the I don't want to call them burnt parts of the pretzel, but like the darker sections of the pretzel. Yeah, that looks good. It's like a nice dark brown, kind of more in the shadows. Okay, so that's like a really nice combination there. I think that'll be good. We also have to do the shadow color, so the little shadows around here. We have to decide if we're going to do a blue background now. I think I'm just going to try to do it on the white today because I haven't done one of those in a while, and it's kind of nice to just like not. The last one we did without a colored background was this one, and so it's kind of got like a nice purpley shadow, so I'm thinking that's what we'll go with this one. We'll try to match like similar to this like purple that we mixed up. It's like a desaturated purple there, which is really nice. So I'm just gonna put this like on the corner here. There's pictures of this on my Instagram and Facebook and stuff too, so you can look back and find that little paint tube if you want. But yeah, I'm really liking the shadows of this one, so I think we'll kind of go with that. And I think I mixed up alizarin crimson and ultramarine blue for that. Oh, hey, hon. How's it going? He's coming to work down here with me. I felt like I needed some company today. While we were at his parents' place, we just like were working beside each other, like in the kitchen the whole time, and it's kind of nice to work together. We're thinking we might put our desks on the same floor in the house now because it's kind of nice to be in the same office together.
Yeah, we'll figure it out then.
We'll figure it out. We probably don't have enough time before we leave next week, but we might have some time to.
It's pretty easy to move a desk.
Yeah, we just have to take the legs off and move it down the stairs. Be too hard. Okay, so that's like kind of like the dark area. I made like a nice purpley color. I'm gonna put that there, so that'll be a nice like shadowy color, and then we're gonna go out from there. I'm just gonna grab this again, actually. Realize I should have just mixed more pigment to begin with. I'm not doing a background on it today, hun. I was gonna do a blue background, but changed my mind. I haven't done one with a white background in a while, so I'm kind of excited. Okay, so I'm gonna leave a little bit of this there, and then we have some extra to play with here. So I'm gonna start lightening that. We're also gonna desaturate it as we lighten it because I don't want it that saturated. I'm gonna put a little bit of warm white for this. I don't want to do too much yet. Okay. So we're slowly adding white. We don't want to add too much white too quickly, so I don't want to have to mix the color up again. Just gonna slowly add it. And for purple, if we want to desaturate it, we could kind of like add a little bit of green or yellow to it. We're just taking the color that's opposite on the color wheel to it, and we're just adding that in. So we can add a little bit of like sap green to that, and that'll desaturate it for us. Yeah, that's pretty good. Got that. And we're going to slowly add more warm white to it. Going to add a little bit more sap green to that. Get this nice purpley color. And I'm just checking to see if it kind of matches. Obviously the shadow in the actual image isn't purple, but we're looking for the values in it, which is the light and darkness of it. So I'm just holding it up and seeing if it kind of matches in value. And that looks pretty good. So that's like a nice color down. And then we also need another one. Grab a bit of that. Just making lots of transition colors because this will make it look more smooth as we're laying down the colors, and we won't have to blend on the canvas. You want to do your blending on your palette as much as you can because it damages your brushes quite a bit if you're blending with your brushes. You want to try to avoid that. It just makes your brushes last a little longer. Just adding a bit more sap green to that to desaturate the color a bit. Okay, so that like looks good. And then what we're gonna do is I'm also gonna start to go to the titanium white. I'm gonna take whatever is on here right now, add it to the titanium white. We were using warm white before, but the paper is more of like a titanium white. So I'm just transitioning now between the purple and the paper, which is the titanium white. So I'm doing just a slight purple with that. And that should give a nice transition. Yeah, and some of those like brighter areas, that'll be good. Okay, so that, let me step back. We didn't need to mix too many colors today, which is nice. So it's good if you're just like really first starting out and you don't want to mix too many colors. This is actually a really good one for that. It gets like less complicated with mixing colors when we don't have the background. And I like to do the background, but it's also nice not to sometimes. Okay, we are going to move to the painting scene. Oh, I still have this up here. This is one of the ones we did. I was checking to make sure it was in focus. I actually did this one a few weeks ago. It's such a cute one. That's another one we did for the challenge. Let me just put that there. And that is all ready. That looks good. Hopefully the colors are all set up there. I'm just gonna also move this camera over a little bit so you can see me as I'm going. Oh, I like how you set that up. This is such a good way. My husband's using like the little mini easel to set up his laptop. It works really well.
Yeah, it puts it up enough. They don't have to look down as much. So
Like a perfect height for that. Oh, there's my cloth. I'm like, I just dropped my cloth. Okay. Let's see. Hopefully that's far enough. Yeah, that should be far enough. I'm gonna try to move my light a little bit closer too. So I have the light there. Yeah, that looks good. Okay. I haven't painted all week either because I've been away. So it's kind of nice to get back into my studio and be able to paint. I've been doing like some of the polymer clay while I've been gone, but I didn't take all of my, took some of my painting stuff, but I just ended up doing the polymer clay because I already had that like set out like the whole time. And I got a bunch of orders I had to fill, so did that. Okay, I'm just setting up my camera so that I can make a reel for you guys. Okay. go. I made this too bright now. There we go. Which brush should we use? I've been really enjoying these. I need to get more of these Seneca brushes. I really like the flat ones. The flat ones seem to be my favorite. I also really like this little like angle shader too. The angle shader is pretty nice. I'm going to start out with the flat brush though. And we got to erase the sketch. So I've got a little sketch here, just like a very, very basic sketch. Just with like where the shadows are and where the general composition is going to be. But you don't need to go crazy with a sketch because we're going to do it all with paint. So I'm just dabbing off some of the pigment. You can see how it's kind of getting on my little gummy eraser. These are normally called like gummy erasers or kneaded erasers. Just a regular eraser, just it's been kneaded. And they're a little bit more sticky, so they pick off the graphite a little bit easier. There we go. That. And now we can start on our colors. So I'm going to start with the darker areas first. I'm probably going to actually start with more of this tone, and then we'll do like the really, really dark shadows kind of near the end. So we will grab this kind of, I was going to call it a mid-tone, but I think mid-tone would be kind of in between those two. Okay, so we've got kind of some of the darker sections here. And on the edges. And then we will put this in. And then we will do the little salt on top, but we're going to kind of add it over top of everything else. Right at the end when everything else is done. Add those like little final touches to it. When I was making these earrings too, the little salt bits, like they just make it at the end. Like when you add the final glossy coat and like the little salt bits. And it's actually, it's not salt. For the earrings, I use a bit of craft sand for it. And craft sand kind of looks like salt or sugar. So it's perfect. Because salt would not hold up on polymer clay like this. Same with sugar, but sand will. It's just like little rocks. Kind of like more dark bits kind of just around the top like edges here. I'm adding those in, and then kind of as we get to the edges it's lighter. We'll go back in and adjust the colors after as well. But that's the general. So we're going to go to the next color here. I'm not going to clean off my brush because the colors are decently close. We're just going to line this around the edges of those darker colors that we did. Make sure you trust the process while you're painting, because it's all about kind of layering these colors in and slowly getting there. It's not going to look very good at first. It's just going to look like a mashup of colors, and then at some point when you add those highlights at the end, it'll all kind of just like come together. I think that's like the biggest lesson I've learned from painting and doing this for a really long time, is that you just kind of have to trust that things will work out at some point. And I mean, if they don't, then that doesn't really matter because you had fun doing it and it's enjoyable anyway, so. Because sometimes my paintings don't work out. And by not work out, I mean not be the exact way I wanted them to begin with, but sometimes that little artist touch is what makes them special, right? We're not trying to copy the photo exactly, we're just adding our own little interpretation of the photo, is what I like to say. We're just getting those shapes kind of coming together. I grab my linseed oil. I have a little container of linseed oil here. I normally put this out just so I can clean off my brush a bit. I will bring this a little bit closer, but I just kind of dip it on my rag. So I'm going to go into the next color down, which is this one here. So I just wanted to clean off my brush a little bit before we get to that one. So be a little more careful now as I work this other color around. As you get lighter in the pigments, it's easier for the colors to potentially mix too. Go. I hope you guys are all doing well today. It's actually starting to warm up here in Victoria. Let me know in the comments where you guys are all from. I'd like to hear where you all live, because I realize everyone is watching from very different parts of the world, which is kind of cool. Oh, and did I tell you guys that next week we have a collab with another artist too? I'm really excited to collab. She's actually a local artist that's a dancer friend, which is kind of cool. Get to collab with another local artist here. And we both were involved in the dance scene here. I used to do a lot of swing dancing. I don't do it as much anymore because I live further out in the city, and a lot of the dances that used to be hosted aren't really hosted anymore. So maybe maybe the swing society will start to open up more like frequent dances. But it's nice to go dancing when I can make it out to them. That's actually where me and my husband met, is swing dancing, so it holds a special place in my heart. So the shape's slowly starting to come together as we add all these extra little colors. Don't want to switch to my smaller brush quite yet though. Trying to stay with the bigger brush as long as I can anyway. Okay. I'm gonna kind of dip that in linseed oil and get a little bit of the pigment off of my brush here so we can move to the next color. And go down to this lighter color here. And we're gonna add it kind of into some of these lighter areas along the edges here. And since we're not doing background color today, I'm gonna make sure that I'm kind of keeping the edges a bit more polished and sharp. And we'll fix up the edges too, kind of closer to the end as well. And this is kind of like gets a little bit darker back here, so I'm not going to add anything there. It gets a little bit dark in there too because there's like a shadow. So we're just looking for those like dark and light areas. To shape those pretzel areas too. We'll add some like dark bits to that so like the ends of the pretzels stand out a little bit more. I still haven't added like the darkest color there, so that's going to be kind of closer to the end when we add some of those colors. I just wanted to get these other pigments in first before we add those really, really dark colors. This part here. Still need the dark colors in that area. Kind of step back and just see and start kind of adding those I'm going to add some darker areas. I'm just grabbing the angle shader. I'm going to grab that into the darker pigment there. That's going to be the brush I use. I would like to get a slightly smaller flat brush. I don't know if they carry like smaller than the 0 for that one. Be nice if they have a smaller flat brush though, if I can find one. So we're going to do those edges, like I said, with that darker color. We're not putting too much of this darker color on though, because it's quite dark. But it's great for those shadow areas on the edges, because the pigment really shifts. That'll give it a little bit more depth too, adding that darker color there. It'll start to take a bit more shape with those darker pigments. So with like around this area, we're going to start to add that in. Have more of this kind of the second color down. Be really careful around the edges now, because I want these to be like a little bit sharper, these edges. I might have to use like a liner brush to kind of soften them up near the end, but there we go. This part is pretty dark in here. I'm just like alternating between those darker colors and adding them to try to kind of like match up where on the reference photo those darker colors are. You can tell that the light is coming from this side, so it's coming this way. So we're just kind of trying to make this side a little bit lighter than this side over here. There's like a little shadow here, so I'm gonna add the little shadow in there. Goes from like pretty dark shadow to like the lighter pigment, so I'm gonna kind of grab a little bit more of that kind of lighter one there. That will make like a harsh transition between the dark pigment and the light pigment. And then you'll be able to tell that the shadow is there a little bit more. And then I put this brush down too. Kind of just like working on this one, and then I'm going to move to the other one after we got those kind of darkest pigments on. I'll add some light colors back into that one. So I'm gonna grab my lighter brush and kind of like in this area where you can tell there's a shadow, that's kind of what's happening over here too. Go. It's a little bit darker over there. I gotta work on this area here. Put this brush down. And the angle brush is pretty good with this too, because you kind of take it and go around these curves a little bit easier with the like little angle shader. I want this line to be a little bit darker in between those colors. I'll come back in with this lighter tone as well. There we go. And we definitely are going to lighten it up a little bit in certain areas. Just don't want to add any of the highlights in yet. Kind of work to get that darker base, and then you can go back in and add those lighter colors as well. Like I said, this is kind of like pushing and pulling colors right now until we get the shape that we want. And you can kind of see that I'm using a pretty like gentle light brush stroke. You don't want to be like too firm with it, unless that's like the desired look. It depends, like, so like when you're using your brush, how hard you use it and how you press the brush determines how the end result will look. So just over time I've developed this because I wanted like a certain kind of look to my paintings, and so you'll find what's kind of like best for you when it comes to that. But I find going really lightly, because I don't want to blend it too much. I like to have a bit of that kind of like painted texture to it. Okay, I'm gonna make this area a little bit darker. There we go. Okay, that one like looks pretty good. We can always go back and touch it up a little bit, but I'm gonna work on this other one now. There we go. add that darker section in there. You can see a bit more of the shape now of the pretzels as I add these. I'm gonna grab a little bit of this other dark color here. The burnt sienna. Just gonna tap it beside those darker areas. Got a bit more of that burnt sienna. That's the burnt sienna, kind of on the top there. Go back into that darker pigment just for the edges here. Makes them stand out a little bit more. Go. And then back into the darker area. I'm going to add some shadows kind of in these sections. Grab my lighter brush and kind of touch that up along the lighter edge. Just so too much of that dark pigment doesn't get into the lighter color. There we go. I want this to kind of come over the edge a little bit more. There we go. Go back into that, not with that one. Grab the burnt sienna again, maybe a little bit of this lighter pigment. We'll go back in with those lighter pigments after. I'm gonna grab also the darker pigment in this area. Also a bit of shadow right in here. Add some of this lighter section back in some areas. I'm going to go back at the end and add a bit of that section back in. Okay, we got to make this a little bit darker in here. adding some of those lighter areas back in. Probably gonna take a finer brush to add some of those lighter details because it's gonna be really hard to add them in very lightly with such a big brush. That's the other thing. Having lots of different style brushes really helps. Like you definitely could do a painting with all one brush, but it makes it definitely a little bit more challenging if you only have one style of brush. When I first started out, that's all I had though, so I just used the same style of brush for a while, and then I got like a bunch of new brushes at some point, tried different styles, and I was like, how was I painting without all of these brushes before? It definitely changed things for me when I got all of these different types of brushes. It really does help to have the proper tools. Go adding some of those lighter areas. How's the color look for you guys today? It's a little bit darker. Let's see. Just trying to adjust the color of everything beforehand. It's really hard to adjust it all. Try to adjust it a bit. Looks a little bit different in person, but it's decently close, the colors. Not too bad. Still have to look into getting some new webcams that match up colors a little bit better. It's been on my list for a while, I just haven't gotten around to getting some new ones. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna grab some smaller brushes now because I missed this part here. A smaller brush, and we're gonna add some little details in here. Okay, so I have, we will use the 10/0 liner brush. I'm using one of the Princeton Velvet Touch ones. They have lots of like really tiny brushes, which is nice. I'm just dipping in a bit of linseed oil. I'm gonna grab this lighter pigment now. I'm just gonna add a bit of linseed oil to it so it moves a little bit more smoothly. And then we will do the edges just to kind of get some of those edges a little bit brighter. just focusing extra hard over here, getting those highlights in. There we go. Very subtle, but like it adds a lot to it. Just those subtle highlights on the edges. I find this with like flowers too, when you add like the dark and light highlights just around like the petals. It really brings the whole thing together. So you don't want to like skip on these like very subtle highlights. Then we will, there we go. A bit more highlight in this area too. I'm going to take this liner brush as well, and I'm going to add a little bit of the more yellow pigment as well to kind of add it to certain areas. Just trying to make a few little highlight lines with this because I don't want it to be so smooth. I want the texture to kind of come through with the brushes. And the lighter we touch, the lighter the pigment stays because it won't mix with the other colors underneath as much. This is what we're kind of doing. There we go. And then I'm going to take some of this titanium white. I'm not going to wash off my brush or anything. And you can see there's kind of like highlight areas of the pretzel. I just kind of try to add some of the highlight areas in the brush a bit. And that lighter color. Go. A little bit more over in this side too on this one. Kind of going back and forth and just seeing what needs to be added. Okay. Now I realized we didn't mix the colors for the metal part, but I kind of want them a little bit purple, so we might actually use some of the purples we mixed and just kind of desaturate them more to make them more gray. But they will work for that. Desaturating the purple would just be like adding a little bit of the green to it, which won't be too hard. Okay, I'm gonna just clean off this little brush a little bit. I'm gonna go back into some of those more saturated colors. I'm going to actually add a little bit of a glaze with Indian yellow. I wasn't going to do this, but I decided it might look a little bit nice. So this is a pretty like transparent pigment. I like using it kind of over the top to add a glaze. It's very transparent compared to the other colors. And if I just mix it, I don't really even have to add like linseed oil. It's pretty transparent on its own. But if I just put that over top of some of these yellowy, kind of brighter areas, get more of that saturation in those areas. Normally you'd kind of like wait for it to dry to like glaze it like this, but I like to paint alla prima, so I like to do it all in one go.
Jesus Christ.
So, what, hun?
Happened in the front hall.
Oh yeah, an explosion happened in the front hall. I haven't unpacked our stuff. I'm gonna do that after the stream today. Gotta get the house back in order after our vacation this weekend. Okay. And you'll see it kind of like brightens up the colors here a little bit. Just a little. There we go. I think that's looking pretty good. I'm gonna add the salt to it now. Just gonna clean that off so then the brush is nice and ready. I'm gonna use a little bit of this kind of like purpley one we made. Yeah, I think the purpley one will be nice. And I'm just gonna start dotting salt on it one by one.
Excuse me.
Bless you. And we don't want them to be like evenly spaced. So we're trying to like, some of them are more bunched up together, and then some of them are like further apart. I was like moving my brush in a different direction, so it's not just like, there's some smaller little grains, and then there's like definitely some bigger ones. I don't want them to all be the exact same size. That'll give it a bit of variation if you just kind of like shift your brush around a little. There we go. Oh, I'm dipping in the wrong color. There we go. This color over here. And we're gonna put a few little dots over here. It's kind of like therapeutic to just like chill and put all these like little dots on. We're not in a rush, we're just enjoying it. I think that's my favorite part about painting is don't feel in a rush to finish anything. Just enjoy the process. There's only a few little ones over here. Okay, now we'll work on the other one because I think I like the spacing of those. Actually, I was wondering, do you guys like to listen to music while you're painting, or do you like it silent like me? I mean, I guess sometimes I listen to music, but I feel like most of the time I enjoy just to have like a really silent studio with nothing playing. I guess it depends on my mood. Especially if I'm like looking for like a relaxing painting session, I'll just like not have any music at all. Just like I'll put on my headphones so it's like even more silent too. So I don't hear the sounds of like all the technology and like buzzing fridge and stuff like that. I just like enjoy the silence while I'm painting. Does anyone else do that? I feel like it would be even better like in the summertime when I can open the door and like hear all the like naturey sounds. I kind of live on like the outskirts of the city, so I don't have a ton of like trafficy noises or anything around here. Though I feel like our city is expanding quite a bit. I'm surprised how many more people are moving to this area now. I might just have to move out further. I'm away from the city. I'm a country girl at heart. Okay, those pretzels look cute. I like the little details we added there. If we want to add a bit more to it, we could add some like shadows on the salt, but I don't think I'm gonna go that crazy today. Maybe if we have some time, I could add a little bit afterwards. I'm going to mix a little bit of color for the the earring hooks. That's what I was gonna say. I'm gonna use a bit of these colors. So the darker part, I'm gonna actually use this purple, except I'm gonna add a bit of green to it. Okay, that's good. And then for this one, I'm gonna do the same, a bit of the sap green to it. And this one as well. I'm going to not add sap green to that. I'll just keep that one the same. Okay. I'm gonna go for those darker colors now. So there's kind of like darker areas kind of along the edge here. I even want to get a smaller brush. Where is my super tiny one? My 20/0. This is the smallest one I own, so can't go any smaller than that. I'm just gonna add a little linseed oil to the brush. Go to that darker color again. Okay. And then just kind of like the coily bits on it. I'm gonna try to add a little bit of the coily bits, just because I think they look cool. Might as well try to paint them a little bit. And then we've got the little ball here. This end be darker. We've got a hook here and a loop here. And we're just gonna add like the lighter colors to it as well. And then there's a ball right here. Thought about like changing out the little ball here and maybe adding like a little charm to the earrings, if I can find like a little charm, that'd be cute. Little stars or something, like something really cute like that, you know? So it's not just like a little ball. Probably could do that for some of my designs. It's like finding a way to like make them a bit more like creative and unique, so all the earrings are different. I don't want to do just like generic earrings, you know. I want them to be very unique to my style and who I am as an artist. I feel like that's the fun part about designing and creating things, is you make them very unique to you. I don't want them to be basic and replicated, right? Okay, I'm gonna go into that lighter color, this lighter gray color that we made. And I'm gonna start adding it in the edge. Now we'll go to that lighter purple color. Now I'm going to go into that white, so I'm going to add a bit of linseed oil to it, just so it kind of moves around a little bit better. I'm just going to smooth up the edges of these colors with the white. I mean, it's kind of purpley. Just lightening this area here. Then same with this part here. Start on the other one. Okay. You can always go back in with the darker pigment. Kind of add those darker bits back in too if we've lightened them too much.
I feel like you did it really fast. It's only been like an hour and a bit and you're done the pretzel.
Pretty much, yeah.
The background won't take too long.
I'm not gonna do a background.
Oh.
I'm gonna do a shadow today. I decided I didn't want to do a background because I think it would be nice to do one without a background today. Because I haven't done one without a background in a while, so I've been just like really enjoying backgrounds, but I also really enjoy not doing them too, so do that a bit. Just adding a little bit of that darker pigment back in the darkest parts. Make sure I keep dipping my brush in there. It's getting some of those lighter pigments every time I brush over them. Only add so much detail to that, so that's kind of like the extent of what the earring rings will look like. Okay. Keep saying okay, and then adding more detail. I'm gonna actually grab, maybe I will use like one of my shader brushes. So these are like little blendy brushes. This is a number 4. I think that's what we'll use. This is a number 4 Josol blender brush. And I find these are pretty good for shadows. So we're gonna add the purple shadow in. We're gonna start with this darker color around the pretzel. We're gonna go in with that. I'm gonna work on the inside of it first, I think. And we're gonna leave a little bit of white there because the darkest part is kind of this middle section here. Quite a dark area in there. Same within here, there's quite a dark section in this part as well.
Oh, what am I doing? Cross those
out. Okay. I'm gonna add a little bit of that dark area here as well. And then a bit more dark area here. And over here as well. And then hey hun, could you go up to our bathroom and look for the little bag with all my little clay pieces? I think I might have put it upstairs somewhere, and I want to be able to show people on the stream.
What do you want?
The little baggie, it's kind of like green with like flowers on it. It's got all my little clay pieces in it. I think it's upstairs.
Talking about the suitcase?
I think it might be upstairs. It's like a little bag with like little drawstrings, like flowers on it, or greenery on it. I think I might have brought it upstairs yesterday because I can't find it. I wanted to show you guys these little earrings like on the stream as well because they look so cute. Hopefully my husband can find it up there. If not, I might have to go searching for it.
Is it something with a drawstring?
Yeah, I don't know where I put it.
I don't see anything with a drawstring.
Can you look in my purse, maybe?
I don't actually know what you're talking about.
It's a little baggie. I was using it at your parents' place.
Oh, this thing? This new thing?
Yeah, that thing. That's it. Got a little baggie. It's got little flowers on it. It's green. Yeah. Let me find them. So these are the earrings we're painting right now. Let me put those aside. Show you guys. These little earrings right here, which are super cute. So we've got like little earrings to match. I'm really excited about these too. There we go. So those are the little earrings that I made. You can purchase these on my shop now too. But yeah, I thought it would be cute to paint these. Guess I could like, I don't want them too close to all of my paint stuff. I don't want them getting paint on them. But it's like, it's perfect. Now I was gonna wear them today, but I can't wear them right now because I haven't cleaned them. Gotta clean them off before I wear them. I'm adding those kind of lighter colors. This is like the lighter purple, so I'm just kind of going in with that. Cat hair. Work on this area. There we go. Go, and then I'll go back into that dark color for those outer shadows as well. I'm gonna go into kind of this one. And I'm brushing it on very lightly. Same within this area here too. Just trying to get the shapes in right now. How that looks. I'm going to go into this next color down here. Gonna add that in. Don't want to make these colors too harsh either. And then I'm going to go into that lighter color again. I'm just going to clean this off a bit. Into the lighter color, kind of on the side here. And then I'm gonna go even lighter and actually grab my other number 4. And I'm gonna grab this lighter titanium white with a little bit of purple. I put that around the edges. We're going to fade that into the background. Put very little pigment on that. Get a bit more of that titanium white over here. Oh, there's a lot of cat hair there. And on the edges over here. I'm also going to use like a very fine brush at the end to kind of blend this out on the edges of the shadow, because this brush can only do so much blending in like the detail. So I have like little round brushes that are a little bit damaged that work perfectly for this job, and they've got kind of like a fluffy end to them. That's the nice thing, don't ever throw out brushes that don't work perfect anymore, because they're great for little like blending jobs and stuff. So it's this one here. It's got kind of like really rough tip. This is a 2/0 round Princeton Imperial brush. I find I really liked the Imperial series, but the brush tips don't stay like kind of, I guess, the same as when you first got them, but that's okay because they work for other things really well, like the blending I'm talking about. So I can take this and I'm just put a little bit of white on my brush, just titanium white so it matches the background, and I'm evening up the edges now. I'm gonna dab off my brush as I go so then the colors don't mix too much. Yeah, this is just great for blending on the side. Those kind of like fine detail areas. There we go. Blend it out a little bit nicer. Just working on this one and then I'll work on the other one too. So within here there's like a bit of blending that could happen. This area is like a little too dark, so I'm going to lighten that by just pulling some of that white over top. This will also help smooth out that background, which is nice. Same with these ones. And it's not as dark in there because that shadow doesn't need to be that dark. It gives it a nice blended look like that when you have this little brush. Even add a little bit of that lighter pigment back into there. There we go. There we go. I gotta blend that outside shadow on the right hand one as well, so it matches up a little bit more. Okay. Stop with the left hand one, right one, just around the edge. Dab that off and clean it off a little bit with some linseed oil, just so there's none of the other colors in there. I'm gonna add a little bit more white to this area here at the top. Dab it off and then add a bit more white. I brought the shadow up a little too much. It's okay, we can fix it. Look from afar. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I like that. Could make the pretzels a little bit brighter in certain areas, but I kind of like the darker pretzels there. Just trying to make those shadows look pretty good. I think that worked out. I want to add a little bit of shadow to this area too. Just using whatever pigment's left on my brush to kind of brush a very, very light shadow. This will make it all pop out. A bit of that dark purple. Not too much of that dark purple. I think that looks pretty good with the little highlight there. Okay. Okay, now we stand back. Let me look. I think I really like that. Oh, those are so cute. I'm glad I didn't add a background to it. Just the like little shadows. But I made them purpley, so it's like still a little color in the background, but like purple. I like that. What do you guys think of that? Oh, I think those are so cute. And then my little earrings. My little earrings there. Oh, that's so cute. I was thinking that'd be like cute little background cards, you know?
It looks like your Wi-Fi name or password has changed. To update your Wi-Fi information, go to the Alexa app.
Just going off. I might have said something that triggered her to go off. We don't have it set up, we just use it as a Bluetooth speaker. Got it for free, I think, like for some sort of like item at Superstore. Great speakers though. Yeah. I think I like this. What do you guys think? I think I'm gonna stop here because I kind of like that. I think they look really cute. Oh, I like this. I'm gonna have to do more of the earrings. This is like such a fun way to like incorporate my earrings and paintings together. Ooh, I like this. I was kind of thinking it would be kind of cute to like use these as like a backing card too. I have my paintings plus the earring. That would be cute. Use those as like little backing cards for my earrings. Oh, I like that idea. Okay, I'm gonna stop that. I wanted to say thank you for hanging out with me today and just chilling. I'm going to be live again next week, but next week I'm going to be live on Tuesday instead of Wednesday, like my normal time. Same time at 10 a.m. PST, but I'm going to do it on Tuesday because I'm actually leaving Wednesday. We're taking a ferry over to the mainland, and then Thursday we're flying out to California and we're going on a little vacation. So I will be taking a break, I guess, for the mini paint challenge for 2 weeks while we're in California. But then when we get back, I'll keep continuing it. But next week we are doing it. I'm just going to do it a day ahead because I still want to do it. I really love these live streams. So I still want to do painting before I leave. And then we'll kind of pick it back up when I'm back from my vacation. So that'll be fun. I am so excited about this painting and what we did today, and make sure you tag me at Megan Josol Art and use the hashtag mini paint challenge if you try it out. I want to see all of your art, and I will see you next week on Tuesday. So I hope you guys have a good rest of your evening, and I will see you.